Good morning. So in this week's Torah portion we see that regarding Shevet Levi, the tribe of Levi, it says they would not get a part of Israel together with the rest of the Jewish people. Rashi explains that since they were separated from all Jews to serve God, therefore God gives them a portion, but not together with the others. And the reason for that is because they don't have time. Since they're serving God, since their whole mind is in serving God, how are they going to go and do all the work on the field? So therefore, it's a different ball game. So we have a very big question over here, and this question we can deal with a lot of things in the Torah. We have the avodah of action, ma'aseh b'poel, action, to make a dwelling place for God. So if God is there, portion comes from God, where is the dira b'tachtonim? Why wouldn't they be involved in dira b'tachtonim, in making a dwelling place for God? The same thing is Yitzchak also. God's name was on Yitzchak too. And the reason for that is because he was blind, but he was above the world at that time. And therefore, God was able to put his name on him. Both of them are Gevurah, Yitzchak and Levi. Yitzchak, our forefather, and Levi, Shevet Levi, tribe of Levi. They're above the world, and therefore they don't have to deal with the world. So what is the idea over here? You come 6 days a week, you have to go to work. The seventh day, we rest. Same thing is also Shemitah. I think next year Shemitah, the same idea. That a whole year we don't work on the field. So at first glance, we have no connection to the world. So we're missing out making a dwelling place for God. So what is the whole idea of Shevet Levi? What's the excitement of Shevet Levi when they're missing in the actual thing? So the Rebbe speaks about a very learned person that his whole mind is in Torah and his whole life is in Torah. He has no connection to the world. But his part in the world, for what the reason he came to the world, is not going to be rectified or refined in any way. So he's missing the point, because he'll always be connected to the ground to finish up his job in the world. And if God forbid he goes up Lamaila, after 120 years he'll have to come down to take care of his ma'aseh b'poel, his action in the world. Everyone has to do a dira b'tachtonim. And how do we find the Gevurah of Levi and Yitzchak? That is by mamtik, by sweetening the harsh judgment up above, which comes from Gevurah. And then it goes much higher than regular Gevurah. So that's why we see. So what do we see over here? That the whole year Shemitah has no connection to the world, so therefore it's a degradation. And the same thing is Shabbos, also degradation. You now think on Shabbos about anything. You now think about what you accomplished last week, or you're not allowed to think about your next week, because you have to be totally above the world. Until it says Shabbos is no time for even divrei Torah by the table. But since we have to say a divrei Torah because there shouldn't be a Moshe of Leitzim, a place of Leitzim, so therefore we say a Dvar Torah. But the main thing is to be connected to God above. Tefillah, davening, long davening, and everything else. Being connected to God. So they're missing out. So the idea is 6 days a week we work, and on Shabbos it gets elevated to a much higher level. That means the way the world is through your 6 days of work, the way the world is in Shabbos, it's much higher. It's a much higher world. That's why we say even Eretz does not lie on Shabbos. And the same thing is with Shemitah. Hashem says He'll give the bracha of Shemitah for all 3 years, 4 years. And the reason for that is because the way it is in Shemitah, it's much higher. And the same way is in every other matter. So nowadays, Shevet Levi does not have a connection. So what does Rashi say? Rashi says that they don't have time to do it. But if they would have time, they would go and plant and then sow. Because they need food also. Eretz chitosei gefen. They need the produce of the world also. Which that is basically any time they're not serving God, whether it be at night or anything else. So they also have a connection to the world. So that's the idea of making a dir b'tachtonim. Now a person can't say he's learning Torah, he has no connection to the world. And we know the tsar of Golus is immense. It's very powerful Golus. So l'chayra, how can someone be sent in Golus? Golus we don't see, we're missing everything. There's no dira b'tachtonim we can say. Wait a second, the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed, there's no Eibishter, we don't see Eibishter. So how do we make a dira b'tachtonim? How do we have the strength for it? That comes from the Shabbos before the 6 days of the week. And that gives us koyach to make a dira b'tachtonim in the world. Do mitzvahs, walk in the street like a Jew, be mefarsim alikus, learn Torah while walking in the street. When you go on vacation, you bring Sfarim with you also. The idea is that constantly we have to make a dir b'tachtonim, and we have the power to make a dir b'tachtonim. So if Shabbos is mamash Shabbos, you don't have any connection to the world that will give you the koyach for the rest of the week. That you should be able to make a dira b'tachtonim. And as we see also, the Rebbe's father, which his yahrzeit is this week, Chaf Menachem Av, that even he went in Golis in Chile. That was in Siberia, and over there there wasn't the best accommodations at all. Bugs, especially in the summer, all over. The house was divided in half. but he was mefarsim alikus in Chile where he was, until his Rebbetzin also made ink for him to learn Torah, to write down the Torah that he learned. And that's why we have the Kuti Levi Yitzchak. The idea is, there's no hardship which can tell us, wait a second, we are in Galus, because Hashem is with us in Galus. And therefore, we can be Mekayim Mitzvahs wherever we are. We can stand proud as a Jew wherever we are. And Be'ezra Hashem, when Moshiach comes, Shevet Levi will also get a partner to Yisroel. Like it says, Shevet Levi Echad. And all Yidden will be V'dargas Koyanim, Gedolim. And we'll learn Torah Chadash Amiti Teitzei. By the Gula Amitis V'Ashlema, it should be Imtli right now. Long live our Master, Teacher, Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever. Long live our Master, Teacher, and Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever. Long live our Master, Teacher, and Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever.